language learning, and all sorts of other stuff. And we play games.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Geoguessr Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Geoguessr Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital.
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は
Okay, we've leveled up, and it is time to pick another language. Mordförrätt tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula gidelim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is sword, and that also means elephant. Okay.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Geoguessr Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Geoguessr Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Ça, ça, ah c'est ça, que c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça. Sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyperpolyglotting avec Elise. Moi c'est Elise, traductrice et...
Hello and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I am Elise, translator of lost text, writer and editor with 20 working languages, and I'm really sorry about the delay. It was really unavoidable. As I've said, there's a complicated situation over here, and I really can't get into details about it because people's privacy is involved, but anyway, better late than never, I hope. And we're gonna play some Geoguessr, and we're gonna look at some language learning stuff, both good and otherwise. So let's just get stuck in, shall we? Once I figure out where my windows are. Okay, I'm gonna go with world. I like to do world, get all sorts of interesting things. Okay, машины у ворот не ставить. Okay, right, straight on, we've got Russian on the signs. Do not block the gate. We are in a pretty urban sort of place, which is nice because Russian countryside is bloody impossible. Not least because there's a lot of repetition of town names and river names, and not great signposting of roads. But let's see. Fitness Club. Sushi Walk. Wait, a sushi walk? That doesn't even make so. What the fuck are you doing that you're cooking sushi in a walk? Like, Uncle Roger needs to get onto that. Like, there are things you cook in a walk. There are many things you cook in a walk. Yannick's Taxi. But sushi is not one of them. Sushi walk. What the... Okay, well, definitely someplace quite urban. The thing is, about Russia, is there's also a lot of that. A lot of urban areas. So, we're gonna have to just keep looking. Okay, what do you... Sadavod? Ashan Mega Ikea. Oh, hang on, there's another sign there. Hoping that one of these signs might actually give us a clue about the exact part of Russia we're in. Свежая, холодная вода артезианская. Нет. МРТ. Юридические службы. Okay, a law office. Hello, chat. How's everybody getting on? Sorry for the delay. As I've said previously, there's a kind of a complex situation going on here. And I can't really talk in detail about it because I don't want to invade anyone's privacy. But it has required me to be delayed today and previous days as well. Sì, meglio tardi che nunca. Максидом, Белая дача, Покровский. Una situazione, un'amica complicata. Пункт выдачи заказов рядом. Хлебное место. Российская и Урал Airlines. Well, that doesn't mean anything. I imagine Ural Airlines has... Wait. Хинкальные Тбилисово. Georgian style khinkali, basically Georgian mandu. Доставим на дачу все для питомца. Okay, I mean, this is definitely a very urbanized area. I do not immediately recognize it as anything in particular. Okay, Bakarovsky. Okay, we gotta... Is this a city bus? Котельники, Славия. Люблино. Люблино, где это находится? Люблин, я знаю. На Люблино. Okay, another Sadavod ad. Перевезу. Lombard. Okay. Hopefully we get into something that tells me more than an urban area in Russia, because, again, there are kind of a lot of those. Добро пожаловать, дополнительная парковка. Okay, wait a second. Is that a big sign there? Could that please be a метро? Выставка домов. Metro City. Said, okay, some sort of housing estate kind of thing. More just Yandex. Yandex is everywhere. But this appears to be a major motorway, which is helpful. Barakat. Shaurma. Maxidom. Okay, but where? Avtamir Bohemia. Bohemia Auto World. Oh, we got a sign coming up that will actually give us some idea where the hell we are. Yay! Ryazan. Okay, we are by Ryazan. So and on the M5 apparently. Покровский. Дягилево. Московское шоссе. Недостоево. Great name for a place. Гагарин. Медицинская улица. Коняева. Шаповская. Лагерный. Народный зоосалон. Северная окружная дорога. Есенина. Муромское зубковой лесок. Okay, well, I'm gonna say it's someplace around here anyway. Oh, not really. We were on the way to Ryazan. I should have looked to see exactly how much space, but 4483 for Russia is not bad, because Russia is bloody huge, and there are so many urban areas. Okay, we are someplace in South America. You can tell immediately because it's a no parking sign here, but it's an E, estacionamiento or estacionamiento. And if this were Spain, it would be a P because they use EU standard signs. So we are someplace. Bienvenido a México. Aduana de Ciudad Acuña, weón. Oh, wow. Al tiro. Al tiro. Toda la información que hace falta nos la proporcionan al tiro. Right on the border. Ciudad Acuña. Aquí estamos, weón. Aduana de Ciudad Acuña. Puente Internacional. 5,000. Perfect score. I mean, that was like the easiest ever. Okay, let's see. What have we got? That looks like traditional Chinese. Taipei. Well, it is a bank of Taipei. That doesn't mean it's in Taipei. But we're in Taiwan anyway. Major urban area in Taiwan. That could be Taipei. That could be other places. And Dongninglu. Okay, P. Shanninlu. Ertuan. Okay. Let's see. Okay, just for drill, let's see if there is, in fact... See, Dunhua, Guangfu, Xingyai, Huandong, Songxin. Is there a Route 22 there? What about Taoyuan? Could Taoyuan be it? Dayuan. Lixing. Taoyuan. Guishan. Bada. 8 virtues. Okay. Okay, west on Dongning Linsen. Okay. Major urban area that may or may not be Taipei in Taiwan. The best shaved snow. Neat. Okay, 09, oh wait, no, it's 06 area code apparently. That means nothing to me because I don't know Taiwanese area codes. Probably, if I did, it would clear things up immediately. Yangxin, Yinxing. Dongning Fenxing. Duantai. Okay. Wait, let's see. Is there a place called Dong? Is that possibly the name of a town? Because that was the Dongning branch of this bank. Although it is on Dongning Road, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Let's try Taichung. Taichung. For one thing, we need a Route 22. Dongguang, not Dong, but we're after Dongning, Tanzi. Tolton. Okay, let's try Tainan. Tainan, Dongzhi, Dafa, Wuomin, Qingping. Let us see. Trying to figure out where in Taiwan there's a major urban area with a Dongning Road. So far, I mean, we haven't got any very direct indications that I've noticed of where exactly we are. Oh, wait a second, what was that? Dongning Tian. Okay, again, Dongning, but that's just the name of the road. Wangkelu. Rabura. Okay. Misha. Manto. 发型 D, where exactly are we? At some point, there's going to be some sort of a major highway that perhaps gives us an idea what other city we can be heading to. Dongguang. Wait, Dongguang? Is that Dongguang as in light? Because I feel like I just saw Dongguang Road. Longxing, Guanyao, Changhe, Zhongxing. Was that in? Oh, maybe. No, we didn't look at Kaohsiung. Taichung, Taichung. Perhaps. Dongguang. Is that Dongguanglu? Okay, so that's Dongguang. That's written the right way. Taiyuan. But is Dongguang anywhere near Dongning? Jianda. Jianxin. Changping. Okay, we're just gonna say it's Taichung and move on with our lives. It was Tainan. 4552, still not bad though. Okay, feels very North American. No turn on red. Yeah, definitely North America. Driver's license road test starts here. Can we get in closer to that? I bet it would tell us the state or province. Albany, New York. Okay, that was easy. 2nd Street, Albany, New York. Okay, we get an intersection here. 2nd Street and what? North Albany, 2nd and Broadway. We're looking for 2nd and Broadway in North Albany. Hutton, Jennings. Well, here's Broadway. Mill Street, Druthers Brewing Company. North Main, Simmons. Brookside, Clifford. Second and Broadway. There we go. Albany road test. Yep, there we go. 5,000. 8 meters off. Not bad. Thank you, Albany, for putting your name, the name of your city, on all of your street signs. I don't think that is particularly helpful to anyone who's actually there, because they probably already know they're in Albany. But for Geoguessr players, it rocks. Okay, very dry. The way this road is designed, I mean, these guardrails don't feel North American to me. Going over this bridge, so far not seeing any signs. Hard to say what we're dealing with here. That is true of so many things in my life at the moment. Oh, hang on. There was something. Okay, that looks... Okay, this... Starting to look more like something that might give us some indications. People are driving on the right. Yeah, okay, definitely not North America with that signage. Those weren't signs, those were balconies. Guten Abend, Erika. Okay. We're in a fairly dry-looking right-side driving kind of place that so far has not given us any signposting, other than telling us the speed limit, which is how we know we're not in North America. Prodaje se. Okay. Smo u Balkan. Dobrodošli u Balkan. Ali gde? Estoy viviendo una situación bastante complicadita, pero más o menos bien. Robari bar VBR. Okay, Cyrillic. That makes me think maybe Serbia. Montenegro maybe as well. Petrovac bar. But the signs are not Cyrillic. Plavnica, Golubovci. Не знам. Nije mi poznat. Okay, bar transit, Podgorica. Podgorica! Crna Gora. We are in Montenegro. Which includes what is said to be the most difficult airport to land in the world. Golubovci, Vranje, Fundina, Cetinje, Budva, Petrovac. $49.21, not bad. Yeah, well, Serbia and Montenegro are both sort of either way places. And the thing is, one of the various ways, since there's, let's just say, an extreme degree of similarity between Serbian, Croatian, and Bosnian, one of the ways to tell it apart is that Serbian, when written in Latin alphabet, will actually phonetically spell out foreign words, foreign names, and things like that. Whereas Croatian will just use the spellings. Really? I know nothing about the Dien Bien Phu airport. But I know the, Podgorica airport is surrounded by mountains. Hence the name, I suppose. And so figuring out the approach is apparently extremely complicated. Because it's also known for very strong winds. 23,956 out of 25,000. Wow, that's my new top score apparently. We broke a personal record and I didn't even know I was doing it. Ah, okay. Yes, I can see that in retrospect. Now, since we got such a late start, I'm trying to decide, do we want to play another game of Geoguessr, or... There's been... Okay, I don't know if you're on the Polyglots Facebook group. I mean, I've seen this all over Facebook lately. This guy who, like, the article says he's mastered 400 languages. And if you go to his YouTube channel, he says he speaks 46, and... okay, well, that would certainly make it a difficult place to land. Like, all I've seen of Dien Bien Phu is there is a Vietnamese first-person shooter game that is based on the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. And I never get very far in it because it's in Vietnamese and my Vietnamese sucks, and I've never been able to really get the controls right, so I just get murked very early on. So, we could either play some more Geoguessr or have a look at this guy. Like a number of other like language-related content creators on YouTube have looked at his video where he's says the 46 languages he supposedly speaks, and I have to say, it would have been more convincing if he hadn't made the video. So I was thinking maybe look at that, or... yes. I suppose there is that as well. Okay. For the last hour or so, we're gonna look at this. This is a video on the subject. This is very meta in the sense that this is Metatron reacting to a video, reacting to this guy's video about 46 languages. Well,
the frauds they oftentimes are. And here is a video titled, "This hyperpolyglot is a fraud."
Well, I mean, the thing about Bagram is, I mean, if you were from Afghanistan, it was very easy to get in there and extremely difficult to get out. Ralph? Is that Metatron? Like, he shows up in my Rex. I've never watched him. Other than I looked at this.
Boom. Okay, well, get the popcorn, I suppose.
What's up, grinders? So tonight we have the story of a hyperpolyglot, someone who claims to speak 46 languages.
Nonsense.
I mean, let me put it this way. By the standard by which this guy could be said to speak 46 languages, I could easily actually top that number, because his standard includes languages he can only say one sentence in, and I can't even, I've lost count of the number of languages I can say that much in. I will say, I mean, I had actually looked at both of these videos for a little while last night, because, and the one caveat I would put on what they're both saying is, it's not clear from the video, he's kind of as in a transphobe, or, like, homophobe, which sort of phobe, or all of the above. The caveat I would put on here is, it's not clear from this video. We don't, because it's not, all he does is, like, say some things that he seems to have at least part scripted. Well, actually, switch over and look at Evil Dea's then. Evil Dea. You couldn't really say whether maybe he reads and understands. Oh, well, that sucks. I mean, whether he reads and understands the stuff better than he speaks it, which is possible. Like, I mean, that is the story of just about every polyglot on the planet. There are languages where, you know, like, I read it just fine, but I never get a chance to talk in it. So if I talk in it, then I'm going to stumble somewhat, because I just never get a chance to speak. Like, Romanian, for example, it's been a long time since I had a chance to talk to somebody in Romanian, but if you give me a book in Romanian, I can read it fine. I translate Romanian patents. Strangely, the Romanian patents I always get are all for sporting equipment. I don't know why. But, you know, so there's that caveat. Maybe he understands and reads these languages way better than he speaks them, but he does not speak them particularly well. So we're gonna look at Evil. This is a guy I'd never heard of either.
What's up, grinders? So tonight we have the story of a hyperpolyglot, someone who claims...
This is Evil Dea. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that sucks. Like,
claims to speak 46 languages. Now, if you know anything about me, Evil Deer does not believe that people generally speak 46 languages.
Okay, it's Evil Dea. I wasn't sure if it was Dea or Dia. I hadn't heard it pronounced. I sort of missed that bit. I mean, it would be interesting to do a video, like, by this standard, how many languages I can actually put together one sentence in. Because, like, when you get to the last of his list... Oh, that's... yeah, that's kind of suck. When you get to the last languages on the list, all he's saying is, long live country name, and in one case not pronouncing it very well. So, like, if I were to put together a list of languages that I know at least well enough to come up with, like, one pat phrase, I literally do not know how many that would be. I would just have to have people throw names of languages at me and see if I could come up with, like, one fucking phrase. Like, Mongolian certainly is on that list, because I can say hi, and, I can identify myself. Which is already, that's two sentences as opposed to just one. And I can even do the first line of the, International in Mongolian. So that's 3. Wow, so that's, like, by the standards of this video, I could list Mongolian, but I obviously wouldn't, because, like, I that is, like, literally all I've got.
And if you do speak 46 languages, I need extraordinary evidence. And unfortunately for this polyglot, they did the stupid idea of making a video of them speaking 46 languages.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, it's like, I wouldn't have a problem with the, like, see, I don't get too prescriptive about the concept of polyglot. Like, to me, people, and if somebody loves languages and, you know, they've, like, dabbled in a whole lot of them, I get that because, I mean, that's me. I dabble intensively. I'm an intensive dabbler. It's how I know most of the shit I know. I dabble very intensively until I get satisfied that I understand it as well as I feel I need to understand it, and then I do something else and maybe come back to it. But, like, if you're going to, like, make money off of teaching people to languages that you say you know, then that is another thing. In Mongolian, no, I can't ask where the bathroom is. Not in Mongolian. But, that's another matter. I mean, and if he, like, prefaced this whole video of the languages by saying, like, there, you know, that he's including anything that he knows even a little bit of, to me, like, that would be, you know, on the one hand, you know, that would be cool. On the other hand, this guy would not be getting, like, the press that he's gotten regionally for supposedly having mastered 400, according to, like, the first articles I saw about it.
And I just happen to know just enough people to almost cover all 46 languages. So in this video, we're going to be tearing the ass out of a hyperpolyglot's claim. Now, when I started on this little journey
like, literally, this is the sort of thing, under most circumstances, I would not be into doing. But if you're going to be, like, if you're going to be trying to make money off of how well you speak languages that you don't really speak very well, to teach people how to speak the languages that you don't speak very well, I do think a certain amount of fact-checking is warranted there. That gets into a very grifty sort of place where I do feel like... See. Yeah. I mean, exactly. It's like... That's why I believe in being very, very specific about what somebody means by speaking. And that's why I talk about my working languages. Because I'm a translator. And so the main skill that is important for languages, if you're a translator, is being able to read and understand them and deal with them in writing. And there are languages on my list where I hardly get to speak. Yeah. Then I mean, those exist. Although at the same time, I've noticed when I'm, like, in a situation where I need to speak them, like, if I find myself in the country where they're spoken, you know, the ability to speak starts to shoot right up. And, you know, there are languages on there that I have to warm up a bit because I just don't get to use them much. But if you put a document in front of me in those languages, I'll understand it. And so I believe in just being very upfront about what we mean. And that's why, like, people say they speak something, and outside of, like, language spaces where people understand that there are all sorts of different ways that somebody could mean that, a lot of people hear that and they think that you could just drop this person in the country and they'd be able to function in the language perfectly as well as they do in their native language or whatever. And sometimes that's true, and other times that's really not true, and it's really important to just be straight up about what you mean when you're saying it.
Days ago.
That's where I am.
I will reveal how it started. I thought this was the age-old story of a hyperpolyglot trying to sell some bullshit product, you know, using the fact that the majority of people don't speak these languages to his benefit in order to make money. And although that is 100% true in this case, this story actually takes a darker turn.
Yeah, I mean, there is... it seems like this was an example of, like, his... there's some just sort of kind of icky stuff involving him being sort of, as a child, put out there to the media with all these, like, extraordinary claims about abilities and stuff like that. I mean, it's a bit icky.
And I'm kind of hoping by the end of this video, if this person ever sees this, it might actually help them turn a new leaf in life.
Spoiler alert, what happened when this person saw it, which this person did, is that he tried to copyright strike him for doing a reaction video.
life. And you'll see what I mean. But at the same time, I don't think that's going to happen. Because by revealing this, I probably put this person in a very difficult situation.
I think he agrees, given the copyright strike. But we're going to skip ahead. So, I'm going to drop the link here in chat.
Doing something with it, but then there'll be days where I'll spend several hours with the language. But here's where things also get some more interesting. Have a look at this thumbnail. I'll give you a couple
He's giving Ralph Macchio in Karate Kid a little bit.
of seconds if you can spot anything quite odd within the thumbnail. Look at the flags. Okay, I think that's probably...
Interestingly, like, the German flag is actually the flag of the Chancellor's office that he used. So I guess that means he speaks fluent bullshit in German. And then yeah.
Probably enough time. You can always pause
No, that's the flag of the Bundeswehr, I think, actually.
if you want. There's a Korean flag in here, but it's the North Korean flag.
There's a South and North Korean flag.
Now, you guys probably remembered that I jokingly said on my channel, I'm going to learn North Korean.
Yeah, which is funny. I mean, actually, Evil Dia, you want to do a collab on this particular subject? I would absolutely fucking love to do it. Because here's the thing, like, my formative Korean learning was from Korea Central TV, i.e. North Korean TV. So, my Korean very much defaults to a very Pyongyang-y place when I speak it. And I've actually bought copious soju on the strength of, like, the novelty value of this non-Korean person showing up and speaking Northern Korean.
Like the accent of the North Korea, so that I could walk around Seoul speaking with the wrong accent type of thing. So I've obviously straight up saw this. And another thing is, I'm someone who loves flags. So straight up I noticed that, and I've also noticed that a lot of these languages are not the standard languages your polyglots go out and learn.
Which to me doesn't mean anything. Like, I mean, the standard languages that your polyglots go, when you talk about, like, most of the, like, the sort of polyglot community, it skews very Northern Hemisphere, very global North. So, I mean, there are preferences that come as a result of that. Like, you get fewer people who are learning, say, one of the languages that he mentions in this video is Burmese. And you don't get as much of that.
The types of languages you might learn if you want no one to counteract what you've got to say. So, I'll leave the article in the description. You guys can go through it yourselves. There's quite a bit of humor in here, I will say. But let's get to the juicy part. So, we're going to start with the English. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch through this video with you all and pause it for each language and tell you my idea about his level in that language if I speak it. And if I don't speak it, I'm going to refer to others, because I have collected critiques for pretty much every language here, bar a few that I could not find people that spoke those languages, but they're languages that not that many...
Right.
Okay.
Oh, hang on, I skipped over the bit I was trying to skip too.
This is English.
When a person clams against speaking numerous languages, it won't be a massive subject that English on the list. I bet you guys were in shock when we speak English, right?
Okay, chat, what do you reckon? I mean, I have to say, it's like... Oh, okay, it's both of them. They have the same flag. Actually, given how militaristic the German government has been getting in the past years under Scholz, I have to say that's sort of fitting. I mean, he's been trying to bring back all kinds of militaristic shit. I would not be entirely surprised if he tries to bring back the old uniforms. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The Bundeswehr uniforms are shit anyway. I mean, apart from like the Navy, because everyone can do Navy uniforms well. That's not hard. That's just a blue suit with some bling on it. But yeah, it's like you can understand him speaking it. And what's interesting, and Evil Dia also points this out, it's like there is Indian English. There's an entire Ah. There's like an entire variety of English called Indian English, because English is one of the official languages of India, and what he's speaking isn't that.
Okay, straight up, his English started okay, and then just completely deteriorated to the point where I actually didn't understand him without the subtitles. And I thought maybe this is like some Indian subcontinent accented version.
Oh, absolutely isn't.
Of English.
In
like,
fact, he sounds like he's trying to do a North American accent.
Going to mock their English because they speak it differently to my own. But I've actually had people confirm that they don't even speak English like that over there.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I've been around enough Indian English to know what it sounds like and what its characteristics are, and this isn't that. I mean,
also had other English speakers review this. Basically, as you can see on the screen right now, the summary is that they would need a translator if they were speaking with this person.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, partially, I'm maybe that's me because I'm used to accented English and other varieties of English and stuff like that. But on the other hand, it's like there are weird things going on with the vowels.
Okay, now let's go to Hindi. Now, I actually assumed that he probably spoke this language fluently, along with the next language that comes up on the list, Urdu. So I'm just going to watch these two.
मेरा नाम आक्रम है हालांकि मैं वाराणसी हूं मेरी मातृभाषा हिंदी नहीं है असल में मैं तमिलनाडु से हूं जो साउथ इंडिया में एक स्टेट है फॉरेनर्स को लगता है कि पूरे इंडिया में बस हिंदी बोली जाती है
Yeah, like actually my Hindi isn't great. Like that is not a language that I list when when I refer to 20 working languages. It is absolutely not a working language. But I understand him fairly well here. I mean, with the aid of the subtitles. His rhythms are absolutely Tamil. He's a native Tamil speaker, so that shouldn't be surprising. But it's like, like his stress patterns and his rhythm patterns are very much like the stress and rhythm patterns of Tamil, which is a language I'm actually interested in learning, but have never gotten anywhere with. But I know what it sounds like. It has this sort of prosody where you have these long words, and the stress and everything kind of starts at the beginning. And it tends to be very fast. Yeah, I mean, absolutely not. It is very much a Tamil accent.
लेकिन ये सब सही नहीं है मेरे मतलब 70 to 80% लोग हिंदी समझते हैं लेकिन मेरी मातृभाषा तमिल है ज्यादा लोग सोचेंगे कि इंडिया में हिंदी बोली जाती है और पाकिस्तान में उर्दू बोली जाती है मगर हिंदी और उर्दू
I mean, and he's also speaking very, very fast. And that is a pattern in all of this. And I think that accounts for a lot of the skipped words and the weird vowel stuff that goes on.
असल में एक ही ज़बान है बस स्क्रिप्ट और अल्फाज अलग है हमारे पास एक टर्म भी है हिंदुस्तानी जिसका मतलब हिंदी और उर्दू दोनों ज़बान हैं
Okay. So, even though he said he's not a native language, I assumed he was, and I got that assumption originally from the idea that that would give him a bunch of languages. Like, I just assumed he probably grew up with these languages.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, India is a place where you can very much, like, grow up with a whole bunch of languages, because there are literally hundreds of languages spoken in India.
Turns out he's not a native at all. So I guess the next question is, how good is his Hindi? And according to these comments, as you can see on the screen right now, it is understandable, but it's not great. Like, there are mistakes, and at times...
Yeah, I mean, one of the critiques I have of this video is, like, a lot of the time he's not asking, like, native or fluent speakers. Okay, he says receptive bilinguals, so that's fairly close. Although my own comprehension is not very high here. Yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, it's like, that's, like, my level is also not very high. But between watching the subtitles and my limited Hindi vocabulary, I could actually make sense out of a lot of it.
For a Hindi speaker, they probably wouldn't understand him. Now, Tamil is his native language, so there's no critique of this.
Yeah, and now you're going to hear the stress, what I was on about with the stress patterns and prosody of Tamil. And when you hear that, you will notice that it is present in kind of all of them.
என்னோட காணொலி அனுப்புனா அடிக்கடி பார்த்துருக்கணும் நல்லா தெரியும். என்னோட தாய்மொழி தமிழ் மற்றும் பெரும்பாலான காணொலி அனுப்புனா தமிழ்ல தான் பேசியிருப்பேன். இந்த மொழி என்னோட தாய்மொழினால இது வரைக்கும் நான் ஒரு சின்ன கஷ்டப்பட்டு கற்று கிடையாது இந்த மொழியை.
Okay, Mandarin Chinese. He's now stepping into my territory. First, I will give you my review, and then I'll give you reviews from both other learners and natives.
大家好，我是Geoguessr，现在我是老师也是学生。
Yeah, like I can like I recognize my I can like read Chinese fairly okay, but and I recognize words I'm hearing as he's speaking. But I am not great with tones, and from what the reviews are saying, he isn't either.
对啊，我现在在第一
And this the way he's doing this, it sounds like he just translated it.
是已经第二了。空闲的时候，我帮别人学各种语言，所以现在我真的是有时老师，有时学生，明白了吗？
Yeah, like he's saying that's not how you say 老师.
Okay, I feel sorry for his students because
I mean,
his-
有时学生，明白了。
Let me see, because the sh spelled in pinyin sh and the sh spelled x are very different sounds. They are made with the tongue in the opposite position relative to the palate. So I'm trying to listen to see if he's making that distinction.
我现在在第一晚是已经第二了。空闲的时候，我帮别人学各种语言，所以现在我真的是有时老师，有时学生，明白
Hard to tell because he speaks very, very fast.
了吗？
okay,
I mean, but that last bit, it's not mingba, it's mingbai.
I feel sorry for his students because his Chinese started okay and then completely and utterly collapsed at different points in there where I had to 100% rely on the subtitles. And this is not complex Chinese. And if you're going to make such a short clip in the language, you'd probably practice it maybe once or twice beforehand to fix up these issues.
Yeah, I mean, and if he were speaking slower and had like just done more than one take of this, I imagine a lot of these things would actually be ironed out.
Now, the main issues here is that he actually can't pronounce the sounds properly. There are certain sounds within Chinese which he's just not able to pronounce.
Yeah, like mingba lama is not he is what he says when he at the end when he says you get it. Sorry, my mouse just fell. Okay, please tell me that it's
What's up, grinders? So tonight we noticed that, and I've also noticed that a lot of these languages are not in
晚是已经第
titles, and this is not complex.
Yeah, he says mingba when he means to say mingbai, and I've noticed in the English too, he also says in places where he means I.
Chinese.
And this is where caveats come in, because maybe he can read it fine, maybe he can actually read it fine, and you can't really tell that from a video where he's just talking. But I mean, he's not somebody that you would want to be taught to speak Chinese by, because his pronunciation is definitely not right.
And if you're going to make such a short clip in the language, you'd probably practice it maybe once or twice beforehand to fix up these issues. Now, the main issues here is that he actually can't pronounce the sounds properly. There are certain sounds within Chinese which he's just not able to pronounce, and his tones are basically all over the place. Now, let's go look at what others have got to say. So we'll just jump to the native in the middle, and they say the exact same thing as me, even the same wording, because that native is my wife. And you can also see that some other learners of Chinese have tried to break down what he's saying, and they also struggled. So I would say his Chinese is very low level.
Oh, ich war noch nie in Ländern wie China, Hong Kong, Macau oder Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, and here we're getting into my territory with German, and like I'm understanding him fine. I mean, I'm also what's really interesting about his German is he does not have an Indian accent when he speaks. He doesn't have a Tamil accent when he speaks it. It almost sounds like a Chinese accent when he speaks German. Which just struck me as interesting. Like,
Ich war nur mal in Singapur und das war einfach nur zum Spaß. Besonderes seriöses Studios. Als ich da war, habe ich mir gedacht, wäre schon cool, Chinesisch zu lernen. So habe ich dann angefangen, es
I mean, like, the vocabulary, the grammar and stuff overall, I mean, not bad. It sounds... My assumption would be that this is a language he has spent some time with.
zu lernen. Und Deutsch habe ich wegen Adolf Hitler und den Nazis
Yeah,
gelernt.
yeah, yeah. But then he says Nazis? Like it's Inglorious Bastards? Also, like...
Na, nur ein Scherz.
Ein Scherz, meint er da. Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's wonderful. I mean, that's a wonderful joke, I have to say.
Okay, obviously that was a joke. And this is the interesting one. So the comments are that basically his German is not too bad.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. Like, I understood him. He, his pronunciation has some issues in it. But, I mean, and I see somebody says it's a bad B1 if that. I wouldn't, there's not enough for me to judge that sort of thing. Like, his, like, if he spontaneously if he spontaneously said all of that, then at the very least he has some decent grammar and stuff, and pronunciation's an issue. But I mean, I understood it fine. So I mean, maybe he does like speak it understand it better than he speaks it, which is entirely possible. Hard to say, but like not bad. Better than the others, definitely.
He makes mistakes which you would actually expect from a learner as opposed to someone who's trying to mimic the language. And if you remember back to that article, he went to Germany and took part in the competition. So I believe that this is actually a language that he does speak.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
And the comments from the people who are watching and reviewing this are the same. It's probably a bad B1.
That is supposed to be Japanese. I literally, this is like the third time I've heard this because I've watched like multiple reaction videos and I watched this just directly from his video, and I still can't work out what that beginning bit is. Like that last part, it starts to improve. Although it's not kage no hisomu, it's kage ni hisomu, hiding in the shadows.
はいはい、そうです。私はアニメの大ファンで64
Yeah, like that just, again, we get back to, this sounds like he translated it. Because that's not really how you would say that in Japanese in this context, where you're like saying, you're confirming that, that the thing you just said is in fact true, or what the person thinks but has not uttered is true.
シリーズを感じました。それから漢字を上手させるために、
like, and there are like syllables in here that seem sort of random.
漫画も読み始めまして、日本は私のとってエンターテインメントと、
Yeah, there he goes again. Watashi no totte. It's watashi ni totte. Although, like, a guy his age would not, I mean, watashi is not really the normal pronoun that for I that a guy his age would use. It would probably be more likely to be boku. Like,
学びを同時に当ててくれる唯一の言語です。実は日本語は私のお気に入りの第二語です。
yeah, like, I don't even know what that was supposed to be. So I'm not, I like, that, there were, like, actual Japanese words in there? What the hell does that mean, Finney McLean? I mean, I have a feeling this is actually something rather on the dodgy side, and I think we're just gonna...
So his Japanese was interesting because although it was
Yeah, I mean, his Spanish, it isn't even him saying something spontaneously. It is literally, he's reciting lines from the show Money Heist.
to those who commented on it. Apparently, he was speaking with a very stereotypical manga accent.
Not even that. I wouldn't call it that because it wasn't. I mean, yes, he's trying to do like a stereotypical sort of manga read of the lines, but that isn't why it's totally incomprehensible. The reason it's unintelligible is that the vowels are totally wrong and the rhythm is totally wrong, and like even on the third read, I couldn't figure out the very first part of that. It didn't sound like anything.
And this actually pissed off one of the reviewers of this language. So it's hard to say, and he does mix up sounds, but it seems like he has actually dabbled with Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, here again we have like his vowels are all over the place. Yeah, like. 여진공들이 it means to say 여주인공들이.
목소리가 진짜 거의 없지. 듣기만 썼을 때는 더 거예요. 하지만
Yeah, I mean
나는 한국 여자랑은 절대 데이트 안 할 거야. 얼가 구해서가 아니라.
Like also that ends. It's like that sentence continued because 아니라 does not end a sentence. 아니라 is how you end part of a sentence where you're negating one thing in order to correct it, as in it's not this thing, but. So like.
Okay, of those who reviewed his Korean, the first comment was actually.
I wouldn't. It's taken me 3 times to even recognize what he was saying as Korean.
That of sadness, because they were expecting the North Korean dialect as per the thumbnail. However, overall, his Korean doesn't sound like Korean, and he was only really understandable about 50% of the time.
Yeah, like there are nouns, I mean, it's like there are nouns that are understandable. It's the same with the Japanese, actually. It's like you can understand the nouns, and then you get like sort of random noise in between because he isn't sure how to about like the endings of words or particles or stuff like that.
And they basically.
I mean, and again, the big caveat here, he doesn't get into it, but I'm going to. Maybe he can read it and understand it actually way better than he can speak it. That is not an unusual thing at all. But the speaking, like he on his YouTube channel, he like is offering to teach people Japanese, and he shouldn't, because if people learn to pronounce Japanese from him, nobody will understand a word they say.
Basically relied on the subtitles.
So Korean ki please na iba ilime olgon posuwan.
Yeah, and here we go. I did not. I was watching this in the background without the video. And when I got to this, I couldn't even figure out what language it was supposed to be. Bosnian is a language I understand, actually. Bosnian is a language that I translate. I understand Bosnian when people speak it. This ain't it. I mean, I had to like listen really carefully to find recognizable like Bosnian words in it.
Nebih privatio, nije.
It's prihvatio. Prihvatio.
No. Jere dase.
Okay, Bosnian proved a difficult one because I couldn't find a native speaker. However, the comments are that he basically has a very thick accent. He makes mistakes, although he used the grammar correctly at certain points. And
yeah, like it was like the accent, the pronunciation made it until I heard like privatio. Except he said privatio, which is not it. I mean, that you pronounce that H. It's an important.
Basically, hit and miss.
Mostly miss. He's just literally singing the Saudi national anthem. I mean, and I hesitate to call it singing. And like, out of all of the like Arabic national anthems you could come up with, like Saudi Arabia, why? Why specifically Saudi? Why not Mautini? Like, well, this is also called Maltini, but like, I mean, you got the Palestinian one right there, which is actually really nice, and is not a U.S. propped up family dictatorship with actual literal slavery.
موطني استفخر مسلم عاش الملك للعلم والوطن عبد ما قدرت أي دولة عربية لومان.
Yeah, like my Arabic isn't great, but I will say I understand actually, a fair bit, and his pronunciation is better than other languages.
في مسقط سنة كده تقريبا بس أسوأ شيء
Like he is not.
العربية هو اللهجة خليجي عماني نجدي حجازي مصري شامي جزائري مغربي يمني وعراقي كتير وجيد.
Yeah, I mean, it almost sounds like he's in some bits. It almost sounds like he's speaking Levantine, like he says "ktir" instead of "kathira" for a lot and stuff. Like,
بس لهجتي المفضلة هي الإماراتية.
Yeah, I mean, he actually. I'm not the best judge of Arabic because I'm only really learning it. I understand, like, maybe between a third and half of what I hear when I'm watching, like, Al Jazeera Arabic or Al Mayadeen. And, of course, my vocabulary, as a result of what I'm watching in both of those, skews very heavily in certain directions. But, yeah. I mean, not bad. It definitely sounds like he spent some time, properly acquiring Arabic.
Okay,
I wouldn't
so
be surprised if he understood it quite well.
he actually received good comments on his Arabic. Basically, his pronunciation was understandable, and it was probably the first language that they believed he had studied.
And not the first that I believe he had studied. Like, German, he definitely put some time in with. His German sounds way more natural than any of the other ones, including the one we're about to see. This is supposed to be French. Yeah, I point this out to anyone who's listening in the VOD. This is supposed to be French. I speak French. Je parle français. J'aurais aucune putain d'idée que ça doit être le français ce qu'il parle là. C'est complètement inintelligible.
Le français, c'est clairement ma préférée dans cette famille.
Ma préférée dans cette famille. Like, he means to say ma préférée.
On dit que le français, c'est la langue de l'amour.
That isn't the language of love. That is like the language of dying. Meur is like a conjugated form of mourir. He means to say langue de l'amour.
Dans le monde entier. La grammaire est pas trop compliquée, mais la prononciation, c'est
Prononciation.
pas facile. Le français, c'est facile pour les Européens, mais pour les Indiens, pas vraiment.
Yeah, like, yeah. That, I don't know, again, maybe he understands it when he reads it. But, like, the speaking, nah.
Okay, so the comments on his French were that he definitely made mistakes. Some of them that were really bad mistakes for someone to be making at that level of French. If you're actually at the level that he's showing here, they would be something that basically a learner of the language would have to get right early on. And also that he had kind of a bad accent.
Mi chiamo Tokyo, pero quando comienza esa historia?
Yeah, here this is just literally the opening voiceover from bloody Money Heist.
No me llamaba así. Esa era yo y ese el amor de mi vida.
And, I mean, again, like, native Spanish speaker, y yo no, si no hubiese visto que, bueno, el subtítulo allá que dice que se supone que está hablando castellano, no tendría ni una puta idea de que esto debiera ser español, pues. Es completamente incomprensible.
La última vez que lo vi,
La última vez, pues, weón.
dejé en un charco de sangre con los ojos abiertos. Hicimos
Towards the end, he gets better.
15 atropos limpios.
Atropos no, atrapos. Atrapos.
Pero mezclar el trabajo y el amor nunca funciona. Así que cuando el segurata disparó,
El segurate.
tuve que cambiar de profesión ladrona a asesina.
Yeah. I only watched a little bit of Money Heist, so I did not remember this, but when he got to this part, I knew that he had to be reciting something because he says ladrona, asesina, and he hasn't been referring to himself in the feminine the rest of the time. So that had to be him quoting something.
Nani?
Over
Yeah, su pronunciación no está en ningún lado.
all the comments on the Spanish were that it was bad.
Yeah.
And he's basically just reciting a piece from Money Heist, which is a Netflix show, and the character being Tokyo.
Pizza o pasta? A me piacciono entrambe.
A me mi piacciono entrambe. Like,
Quando vedo qualcuno che sta imparando l'italiano, parla
yeah, this is supposed to be Italian. Io parlo italiano e posso dirvi che non lo è. Non lo è.
sempre con che
It isn't.
gesto? Sul serio, non c'è uno studente d'italiano che non...
Like, and again, this is a thing across the board. Like, his stress patterns are just sort of random. Italiano. It's italiano.
lo faccia. Ormai è diventata quasi una moda. O forse dovrei dire...
Devre, which is actually, it's like he was blanking and brought in French to fill in a gap, because it's in Italian it's dovrei, but in French it would be devrait. For should.
Un meme?
But I mean, again, the caveat is maybe he understands it when he reads it. I can't judge that. I mean, it sounds like he was. I mean, if he wasn't reading from a script there, if he was speaking spontaneously, I would say he knows some Italian, but he does not pronounce it. Like, I mean.
Okay, the comments on his Italian are that they seem to be better than Spanish, but I also have a comment here from a native Italian
It would not be hard to be better than the Spanish.
speaker, the third one being that, where they found a ton of holes in his Italian capabilities within that 18 seconds of speech.
Yeah.
Ako belajar bahasa Asia yang paling senang ni.
I do not know Malay.
Sebab dia tak ada artikel, tak ada conjugation, tak ada tenses, tak ada tata bahasa yang susah. And abjad dia pun senang gila. Tapi aku
I'm pretty sure that Malay has non-English words for all these things. I don't know. I really have absolutely no position to be commenting on Malay. I can recognize it a little bit, but I have trouble telling it apart from Indonesian because they're very, very similar. So we're gonna skip ahead to another one I actually do know some of.
yakini ukinuliza ipendwa tangu cha kwanza ningetua Indonesia. Duydumagol Türk çoğu yamakta talılış vermiş.
Yeah, like I know enough. I don't know a lot of Turkish. My Turkish isn't great, but he's trying to say yemek, which means food or to eat, and he says yemak.
Denemek istemem valla tatlı sevmem. Ama Türkçe yine denemeyi düşünüyorum.
Düşünüyorum.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to say düşünüyorum. Yeah.
now you're stepping into my territory.
Homoy eble malamos konsultin lingon.
Straight up, he completely butchered the constructed languages, the pronunciation of that.
Mi amas tiun lingon ne gravastia beletso. Hispano
Also, he's not following the accent pattern of Esperanto.
au italo povas facile lerni Esperanton, sed chinano au japanano povas lerni ĝin, ne
Yeah.
ĉu ne?
Now, the way he's
Yeah, like, and again, what I will keep on saying is, like, you can't judge how, sort of his receptive ability. But, so, for all I know, he can, like, read a page of Esperanto. Like, I've never studied Esperanto in my life. But when people, like, chat to me in Esperanto, for the most part, I understand it fine. Just because I know the languages that Esperanto is derived from. So maybe he does have an understanding from that, but, like...
said this last part, probably not right. It's like he's saying it in one way, but the emotion of the words don't match the words themselves, which makes me think
That's like true of all of this, I should add.
that he's literally just gone out and memorized an Esperanto set phrase.
Yeah, I mean, like where the emphasis belongs on things, if you know where the words are, and the like sort of emotional flow of the sentence is not present in any of it, really.
And doesn't actually truly understand like what it means. Like, you know when you say a word and you imbue an emotion within it? That's exactly what's happening here. It's really weird sounding.
Yeah, I mean, that is like on the ones that I can actually judge because I know the languages even a little bit. Like, there are a couple of exceptions. Like the German, like he sort of gets it in the right places. The Arabic, to the extent that I can judge, it seems like kind of more or less the right places after he gets done really, really badly singing the Saudi national anthem. But the other stuff, you know, it is not... He does not speak it like someone who knows where the emphasis in the sentence goes.
So my takeaway is that because Esperanto is a regular language, it's easy to pronounce and it's easy to mimic. However, he does not speak Esperanto. Okay, now we're going to go into Danish.
Mitt första favoritspråk är dansk. I vet väldigt arabiska språk.
Like, I can actually kind of understand what he's saying here, and that already tells me that his Danish pronunciation isn't great, because I have a lot of trouble understanding Danish pronounced properly.
Av den platte, det finns I dansk. Den berömte dessert, röra mig för. Jag kan inte hotella det. Måske skal jeg spise en kartoffel for at kunne
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, the pronunciation is not, not terrible, and it seems like I can, like, recognize the words and stuff, and he says, like, uttale instead of, like, in like, Norwegian, uttale. But I mean, it sounds, again, this feels like memorizing a script.
The only comment I got on Danish was that he's not very good at it, and he obviously struggles.
Oavsett det är sättningen som fick mig till att lära ton skickali. Och så bjuder jag att lära andra systen om hette, norsk och svensk.
Yeah, actually, it's like, I find his Danish more understandable than his Norwegian, and see, the thing is, if they're pronounced properly, that should be exactly the other way around.
Det är lätt för en europeer att lära andra europeiska språk, men inte för mig. Det føltes som om jeg lærte 3 forskjellige språk.
Okay, I actually got a lot of comments for Norwegian, funnily enough. Basically, the takeaway is that without the subtitles, he would not be understandable.
Ändå älskar jag de här länderna. Danmark, Norge och Sverige är de mest fredliga länderna I världen. Enligt mig, jag skulle gärna vilja bosätta mig.
Like, I can make out the words he's saying. It does not sound at all like Swedish.
Direkt. Möjligt skulle jag gärna bli kär I en skandinavisk tjej.
The comments for Swedish were basically that he was speaking...
Yeah, speaking Norwegian poorly. Yeah, absolutely. It sounds... It's like every language that every Scandi that he does other than Norwegian sounds like Norwegian.
Norwegian poorly. Now, I don't know if that is offensive to a Swedish speaker, but that was the comment that I did get.
This, like, I know enough Finnish to say this does not sound like what he's trying to say is Suomi on vaikea kieli. I mean, and the weird thing is, maybe this is an overcorrecting thing, because the stress patterns in Finnish are actually not all that different to the stress patterns from, as I understand it, Tamil. Because the stress tends to be on the very first syllable, and then it tends to be very even for the rest of it. Suomi on vaikea kieli. Not helpo, helppo. There's a double consonant there.
Suomessa yhdistetään paljon pieniä sanoja yhdeksi sanaksi isoksi. Sen ymmärtäminen vei kuukausia. Mengkontrolin ein Iwan Polka.
Yeah, like there are words in there that I can definitely understand. It seems like he's missing words. Like he's talking about combining words to one big word, and he missed the word. Like there should be like isoks sanaks. He just says isoks. Yeah, I mean, if I did not know that was supposed to be Finnish, I do not think I would have realized that it was in fact Finnish.
Okay, the comments here for Finnish, as you can see on the screen, were basically that it would be very difficult to hold any type of conversation with this guy.
But again, like maybe he can read it just fine and understand it passively. Like I will say, like when I like try to speak Finnish, I stumble a whole lot, but I understand a lot. I stumble a whole lot because I very rarely get a chance to speak Finnish. But like I pronounce it way better than that. I mean, I'm very good at just picking up pronunciations of things. This leads people to think, like, Turkish speakers often think my Turkish is way better than it is because I can pronounce Turkish really well. But I mean, in terms of speaking, like, you would not, Finnish learners, you would not want to, like, imitate this pronunciation.
So maybe he's been learning Finnish, but he definitely does not speak Finnish.
Yeah, entirely possible.
Linguist vitamea cisne, cum duodecim annos natus SM, noam linguam ipse inveni, ilam atta appellavi, que significat pater. Hanc merablem ideam acp ex linguis mortuis.
Yeah, like, this is not how you pronounce Latin, certainly.
Et linguis constructis.
Now, I've only dabbled with Latin and I never really learnt its pronunciation.
Yeah, like he's pronouncing CE like che, like it's Italian, when in fact it should be ke. I'm gonna go a little bit longer since I started a little bit late.
Unfortunately, I don't have anyone for Bulgarian.
I went a little bit too far. Oh, wait. Oh, I went way too far. These chapter headings don't seem to be entirely correct. Is skipping Maori. I can't do anything with Maori. But Russian... Yeah, okay, first off, he almost sounds like he's trying to speak Russian with a Czech accent. Yeah, like, this does not sound like Russian.
Сразу есть непосильно нем. И если он не крути, то я начинаю учить этот язык.
Yeah, like... No.
Кстати, русский мой четвертый любимый язык.
Yeah, like... I mean, it's rushed, but it's also, like, the words... The vowels are all wrong. The words, like the consonants are often wrong. Like he was trying to say, "Kstati, ruski moj четвертый любимый язык," and instead he says, "Ruski moj сегодня любимый язык." Yeah, I mean the Russian is incomprehensible.
Okay, I had two different comments on the Russian. One said it was basically incomprehensible, and the other one said he may be able to order food on the street.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe. It is hard to judge, and maybe he can read it. That is the one thing I'm going to say. We cannot, based on this, judge, like, sort of the more receptive ability, the ability to read, the ability to, like, understand something that you hear, or something like that. But the ability to pronounce it and, like, speak in a coherent and comprehensible way is not there.
The thing, but obviously that means he doesn't really speak the language to any high degree. Ukrainian is one of those ones where I don't have another native speaker.
Jak to prosto dodat? Belce solite specio rosyjsku, otrymejsz ukraińsku.
Yeah.
Ale krasnolicić rosyjski nie ukraińsku.
Yeah, like... Yeah, I can't, I got nothing here. Like, this, he's, like, pronouncing it a little bit like he's trying to do a Scandinavian accent.
Помайше висум'я. Україні розуміють російську, а вот на везі росіяни розуміють українську.
Basic.
Like, the rhythm is, like, non-existent. The rhythm is just weird.
His Ukrainian pronunciation was really odd and he wasn't understandable.
Ако това Марко Сахар, мети някакви начини продукти, че полечиш български. Защото това е единственият славянски език без сложна граматика, без празения, без трудни произношения.
I mean, what he's saying here is completely wrong about Bulgarian. It does have complex grammar. It has verb forms to distinguish, like, reported speech from like, direct knowledge. It has verb conjugations. Pronunciation, I will tend to agree, is actually fairly simple. It has articles. Like, that is one of the things that actually distinguishes Bulgarian from other Slavic languages. It has articles, and those articles get stuck on the end of the noun, like, where you say the republic, it's respublikata. Respublika, respublikata. Jezikut, jezik. Jezikut is the language. Jezik is language. And it has fucking gender. Like, all, so, like, what the hell is he even talking about? He is, like, I think what he's trying to say with conjugation is declensions, because Bulgarian does not do noun case. It uses a whole wealth of prepositions to do the things that other Slavics do with cases. But it's like, I mean, just from his description of Bulgarian, it seems doubtful that he's really spent any time at all with it, because what he's saying is just wrong. But also his pronunciation is too.
Bez členové, bez rodové.
Like, and it is not to nije bez členové, to je sus členové, sus rodové. Like, yeah, I mean, no.
Unfortunately, I don't have anyone for Bulgarian. Again, if you guys speak any of these languages, even ones that I've, like, put comments up for, and you want to give, like, a deep dive analysis of his capabilities in that language, please put it down below. And for those who don't speak these languages or want to help this video get out, what you can do is like those comments, the ones that are actually giving a proper analysis on each one of his languages. And also, I know we're not through the whole video yet. I do want to say, if possible, share this video around so we can get as many people who are natives in these languages to give their analysis, because
I'm
there
gonna
is a
skip a little bit.
J sounds when they are a Y sound. Unfortunately, a weird mix between Esperanto and English, because he's pronouncing the J's as English J sounds when they are a Y sound. Unfortunately, I don't have anyone from Nepali.
I do not. I have no knowledge of Nepali, except that it is, I mean, it's an Indo-European language. It's related to Hindi and Urdu and Konkani and the rest of them, but I've never done anything with it.
Okay, interesting comment there, as he's saying he's not 100% fluent in all these languages.
I mean, I think that's true.
At the end, I will give you my comments on this, but I don't even think that is a justified comment.
Like, that does not sound, I mean, that's not, you chat, I mean, just yesterday we were listening to somebody speaking isiZulu. That doesn't sound a damn thing like isiZulu. Like, that's not how the vowels in isiZulu work. I'm not even sure what listening to that, how, I mean, he said Africa, which, I mean, that's right.
Okay, now let's look at Zulu. Basically, it was too short for them to comment.
Yeah, it's like one. It's one fucking sentence. Like, if we're going by this standard, I'm my isiZulu is better than his. I could like put it on my list, but I don't, because my isiZulu is like, I can say Sawubona, Kulungile, Itrela Roiboste. You know, I mean, like, that's nothing actually. I mean, I can say more than that, and I can pronounce it way better. But I do not speak it. Like, I would never, like, say that I do. I know a few words in it. But, like, his accent was nowhere, and his words...
He just shouted something and he had a bad accent. I don't have
Absolutely.
any comments for the next two languages.
Well, I mean, I will add comments for Afrikaans. Ik praat Afrikaans.
Notice that
Hij praat niet Afrikaans nie.
each language section is now getting shorter.
Leave Sweet Africa.
Yeah, like, his pronunciation is wrong. It's not he's pronouncing it like English, but UI in Afrikaans is like it's not Zuid-Afrika, it's Zuid-Afrika. It's sort of this halfway point between au and I. Zuid-Afrika. So yeah, no, Disney recht nie.
Films in South Africa.
Apparently, long live every country.
Vietnam, Nam.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Even though it was one sentence in Vietnamese, a native did not understand it. And
Yeah, well, I mean, he said Vietnam, like, recognizably, but not the way you say it in Vietnamese.
I'll play through the last two languages, even though I don't have comments for these.
I mean, and if you were just saying these are all languages that I've, like, dabbled in and that I'm into and don't necessarily know a whole lot, I mean, I would not be considering this worthy of comment. But, like, he is, like, trying to make money on the strength of being able to teach people languages that he cannot, like, form a sentence in. And there I feel like I mean, so far, if I were adopting his standard, I could easily say that I knew 46, because as I often say when people ask me, they're like, I have 20 working languages that I can, like, work professionally in as a translator, and then another 20 odd. I say 20 odd because I actually can't keep count of them, that I know varying degrees of some of. And that 20 odd of varying degrees of some include languages where I can basically kind of stumble out one sentence maybe, and that's it, like Mongolian, for example. But it also includes languages that I can actually have, like, a halfway decent conversation in, which is still, like, more than a lot of these on his list.
Jundidibi, Afghanistan. Okay, iki pungkasan video, indalang sampayang, matunon, ketemu.
Okay.
Yeah. That was... Yeah, I mean, I would say... Let me... Okay. Like, Hindi, I will say, like, pronunciation was kind of hard to understand, but as a not very great Hindi speaker, I could understand... It seemed like mostly... his like word choices were more or less right. Like, I kind of understood it after listening to it a few times. German, he's definitely spent some time with. Hard to judge from just this short clip, but it seems like he knows at least some German. I mean, I would probably say of these languages, of these 46, there are probably 4 or 5 that I wouldn't be surprised if he can understand them quite well, and he speaks them, like, passably. And with that, it is time for me to wrap up for today. Sorry again for the delay. We got shit going on here. It's complicated. I can't really get into it because people's privacy is involved and stuff. But hopefully things will improve and I will be a little bit more reliable on when these streams start. But thank you to everyone who joined in despite the delay. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And I hope to see you next week at hopefully 4:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Friday